Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Win Team. It's the last day of the month and the start of a new month. I'd just like to remind everybody, some of you who are new to the Win Team, to remind you the core teaching aspect, the core coaching aspect of what we do, which is the 8 power moves to success. And the 8 power moves focus on the power calendar, which introduces this concept that you use the last 9 days of the month to push for your month end, right? That's this drive, the last 9 day of the month. And that obviously in the last 9 days of the month, you're also having your finale, but you have to see a dual aspect in the last part of the month. One aspect is driving for a strong finish of the month, and the other is preparing for the start of the next month. Now, right here at this transition, you're about to enter into, you face the reality of how your month ended, and now you're going to drive into your movement for the new month. So I want to ask you right out the gate, how are you ending and how are you moving in the new month? How is your movement, right? How do you set your movement for this new month? Then halfway through the month, you do your milestone assessment and you adjust your activity accordingly. Then you have that production pace right before the close of the month, and then you have the finale, right? These aspects of business are absolutely vital for continued success. So I want you guys to engage with this calendar, really understand it. Go into the members.thewinteam.net, which is your portal, and watch the videos that I've done on the power calendar. It's a blueprint for success. And then by now, of course, you're all using the Power Performance Tracker. I actually changed this up a little bit. Your key money aspects. So these 4 power moves are your key money aspects. And you're just going to go in each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and see the deadline for each of these. You want to do 2 power hours a day for 5 days. Log in when you did those: 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m. You're going to go into your Power Office open houses. You're going to schedule those for Saturday, Sunday, or Friday late afternoon, Thursday late afternoon. This is where you get that exposure. And while you do these Power Office open houses, your power doors, hitting those 10 doors, letting people know, hey, I'm showing the home up the street. They don't like it. Do you know anybody in the neighborhood who's selling? I'd really appreciate it. And then your power pairing. Which of you have paired up? Which of you have paired up for the accountability and also for the motivation with each other? Those brief 5-minute calls at the beginning of the day. Hey, you should all be doing that right now. Your power moves, your power pairs, calling your power partner. Okay, it's the 30th of the month. What are you getting into escrow today? Are you fulfilling your minimum to an escrow this month? Ask each other those questions. Well, no, I'm not. Okay, what are we going to do together to make it happen next month? If you just let the end of the month drift into the new month, you're pretty soon going to find that you're 70 and just drifting without a sail. So pull up the sail. Let's not drift. Let's drive. So today, I wanted to close out the month and start out the month with this discussion, which may not be easy to hear. And I'm going to use some words that people don't like to hear. But sometimes you have to take medicine, right, to create health. So what you're about to read and reflect on, like I say, might not be easy to hear. It will challenge you in many ways, your self-perception, your patterns. But if you lean in with me, it will shift your mindset and help you build a stronger, more profitable, and more respected business. That's what we're all after, right? Strong, respected businesses. Do we all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that sounded very weak this morning. Do
Yes.
we all want
Yes, yes,
stronger, more
yes,
respected business?
yes.
Holy cow. All right, good. Deadlines, guys. And we're going to talk about deadlines today. Ooh.
Oh, we lost you.
We lost you, Andrew.
Separate those who struggle from those who lead. So those who understand these deadlines,
Mr. Andrew,
the people who, yes?
I'm sorry, you blanked out for a while. Can you start that over right when you were about to start talking about it? You blanked out for a minute.
Okay, can everybody see my calendar
Yes.
right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
All right.
Just couldn't hear you.
See what I was sharing?
Internet problem.
Got it. So deadlines aren't just about time. They're about trust, discipline, and momentum. Understanding the power of deadlines will separate those who struggle from those who lead. Those of you who embrace the deadlines in these power moves, you're taking your business seriously, and it will separate you from those who are struggling on the win team, those who lead on the win team. And those who are struggling, we're going to encourage you to become leaders. Okay. Those of you who embrace this power calendar and say, yes, I've been given a certain amount of time to live. And in my business life and in my personal life, I'm going to use that time to consistently create momentum, right? To consistently assess myself, to consistently create a pace that is accountable and measurable, and to consistently produce finales month after month, quarter after quarter, right? The second quarter is over. We're halfway through the year. Have a look at where you are, measure against where you are. And in fact, when you're with Kathy in Reveal, I encourage you to say to her, hey, I said I was going to do 12 this year. The first quarter is over. I've done 3. Coach me to do 9 more. And actually put it in your reveal. Actually face it. Put down, halfway through 3 out of 12. Halfway through 7 out of 12. Don't drift like a sailboat without a sail, drifting aimlessly through your life, but instead create decision moments. Now, I want to talk to you about this word deadline. This is really a little bit ominous, but the word deadline has a dark beginning. It came from the American Civil War. I don't know if you know that. And there was a prison, you should read about it. It was a prison called Andersonville. At one time, there were 33,000 soldiers there. Many died of malnutrition and exposure and so on and so forth, right here in the United States of America. And a physical line was drawn around the perimeter. And if prisoners crossed that line, they were shot dead immediately. And that's where the word deadline comes from. It's a dark history. Today, of course, we use the term figuratively, but the weight of the word remains, and that's why people don't like it. They don't use it. Well, we want a mutually acceptable culture. We want to embrace one another. We want all of that kind of talk. And of course, we do want that. We do want an environment where people are accepted. However, we all need to understand that business is about deadlines, and that word does carry some weight to it. A missed deadline today won't be fatal. So if you look at this power calendar and say, I'll do it next month, it won't be fatal. If you look at these 8 power moves and say, well, I'll do that next month, it won't be fatal. Maybe in 3 months, you try another program and then another one, right? And it's not fatal. You just create a pathway in your life. You create either using it or not using it. It's back to the whole thing. Why would you use it? Why would you not use it? And if you're not using it, what are you using in its place? The same with this power calendar. Is a calendar just a day for you to cross off dates? And how many more do you have? And how many have gone? Or is a calendar something like this where you actually put in decisive mental attitudes and decisive achievements in that calendar? How do you run the calendar of your life? So when you run a calendar, you realize that there are deadlines in life, and there are rewards and consequences to acknowledging deadlines or not, right? So I would encourage you to treat deadlines seriously. I'm going to continue this discussion really quickly here. What happens when you miss a deadline? Here's the biggest one of all right here: credibility loss. People begin to doubt your word. Every deadline missed, every commitment missed can leave a lasting impression. There are people who work for Annette and I who we know they're good people. They just cannot meet deadlines. And there's others who are so passionately committed to deadlines. And so we have to manage around that. We don't just let people go because they can't meet deadlines. We have to put them in groups with other people so they're accountable to other people. You have to find ways around it. But there's no doubt that when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you lose credibility with your wife, with your husband, with your children, with your colleagues. And when you do set a deadline and you meet that deadline, when you do say, yeah, it's month end, I fulfilled what I said I would fulfill. Yeah, it's quarter end, I fulfilled, or I didn't fulfill, but guess what? I'm adjusting for the next quarter. There's tremendous credibility that comes with that. Another thing that happens when you miss deadlines is missed opportunity. Buyers and sellers don't wait forever. Investors don't wait forever. Collaborators don't wait forever. Decision makers don't wait forever. You gather around you people with the same, listen to this carefully. You gather around you people with the same respect for deadlines that you have. So imagine an investor in your business. You want to sell your business one day who goes, yeah, maybe next quarter or the quarter after, I'll kind of get around to it and I should have some money. Think of the buyers who say to you, yeah, well, I'm inheriting some money and it should be next year or the year after. You start to find that you draw to yourself people who have a similar perspective than you do. And then as you grow and as you set this calendar, you set these timelines, people see that you make things happen. You start to gather people around you who also want to create opportunity. Hey, John. Hey, Anna. Hey, Sam. I notice that you really get things done. I'm trying to develop this in my real estate business. Can I team up with you? And suddenly you're attracting people who see, without realizing it, see what your approach is to deadlines because you're gaining credibility. When you miss a deadline, others fall behind. It disrupts flow and it disrupts morale. So my job as leader in the team is to constantly focus on deadlines, constantly focus on us, even when the market is difficult, even when the market, yes, is down compared to where it was, to not give up and go, well, it's a tough market. You just continuously set new deadlines. You continuously adjust them. You continuously drive forward. You continuously find new methodologies that you can aspire higher and higher and higher. And of course, finally, missing deadlines means financial loss. Deadlines tied to the 8 power moves are crucial for financial gain. So is every closing, every inspection, every offer, and every marketing campaign. If you think about different industries where deadlines are critical, think about some of them. Obviously, real estate. Listings expire. That's a deadline. Nobody refers an agent who didn't sell their home. Nobody refers an agent who didn't get an offer accepted, right? So offers have deadlines. Pushing for those deadlines and achieving them for your customer gains you credibility and a different type of review. John is the type of agent who gets things done. Sally is the kind of agent who meets deadlines, who doesn't want a review like that. Think about journalism, right? Journalism isn't like real estate, right? If you got a weekend edition coming out on some podcast in the old days, of course, it was a newspaper, and the story came in an hour late, the presses were running. Some of that's the story of our lives. The presses ran and we missed the deadline. We missed being on the headline, and so we ended up on the back page. You want to be on the front page or the back page? You want to be on the front page? Being on the front page is about taking deadlines seriously, taking calendars seriously, and stepping up. And if you're like, Andy, sometimes I'm so tired, that's what power pairs are for, right? And the good and bad thing about real estate is it's not fatal if you don't do it. But unfortunately, what happens if you consistently don't do something, it creates a pacing for your life, which is not really what you want. Think about when you're making a movie, right? How important the deadlines are in finance, in trades. Oh my gosh, I should have bought Apple stock 15 years ago. How many times have you heard that sort of thing? So now let's look at the benefits of deadlines. There are brain-based benefits in deadlines. I shared with you last week some things about neurology and neurological science. One is that when you hit a deadline, it activates dopamine. Finishing tasks reduce dopamine, and dopamine triggers aspects of the brain that work with each other, right? You often find that people who don't have deadlines are melancholy. People who don't have deadlines, very often, you can just see it in their life. You can see a complacency, a defeatism, and often that's covered up by a life philosophy that is, well, and I'm going to be a little harsh here. Well, I have my life work balance. What that usually means is I tried hard to succeed, I failed, and now I'm falling back on family is the most important. Well, your family is actually saying, could you work a little harder? We need a new car. Dopamine is activated by accepting, embracing, and doing everything you can to meet deadlines. Also, when you meet deadlines, it improves your executive function. Your brain becomes sharper at organizing and planning. Do you find that the more lax you get, the more reasons you give, the more shots you take, maybe the more joints you smoke, the more soap operas that you watch, you find that your mind becomes more and more clouded. You find your mind drifts more and more. It's because the dopamine is not being released and your brain is forgetting executive function, which is people who organize, plan, and make decisions. The interesting thing is, get a load of this. A lot of us feel like, oh my gosh, Andrew, deadlines make me so anxious. It's actually the reverse. We internalize anxiety. If we do not have clear goals and do not have clear timelines, we get what's called mental clutter. Scientists call it mental clutter. There's just stuff in our heads that's floating around. We're not able to use executive function. We're not able to pin down what it is. Maybe we just even still show up to work, but we're in this mental clutter. And that's why corporations years ago knew they had to set up line managers. They had to set up supervisor managers. They had to set up third, second, first tier managers, because without those higher skill sets in our lives, some of us just drift through life. We may have people who love us, but we're not happy with what they're loving. So here's some advantages of meeting deadlines. Certainly in real estate, faster closings. Faster closings equals more profit. More clients are served, more transactions are completed. Remember, the real estate business isn't just about us, it's about our customer. And you meeting deadlines, the fact that you met a deadline to hit that power open house, somebody's child is going to go to a better school because of you. That's a social impact because of you being willing to meet deadlines. Because you met the deadline and did do your power previews and you did do your power posts. Somebody saw you online and Instagram. Now they met you. Now they're a homeowner before they were a renter. That's a social impact. The social impact of decision makers, of deadline meters, is huge. You meeting deadlines enhances your professional image. Others trust you when you deliver consistently. When you meet deadlines, you create innovation because pressure creates innovation. Boundaries spark solutions and speed. So again, meeting deadlines leads you to be innovative, right? I don't know what to do. Often when people say, I don't know what to do, they need something like the Win Team. They need a power partner, somebody who is meeting deadlines, who is using the power tracker, who is making things happen, who does have executive brain function to help move them forward. And that's why power pairing is so important. Listen, guys, momentum builds confidence. With each deadline you meet, your confidence compounds. I want to really encourage you, set yourself deadlines. Here they are right here. Set yourself deadlines. Embrace your calendar as a pathway to future you. Embrace your calendar as a tool. It is a power tool for success. As soon as you start putting dates and times in here and accept, it's Monday, guys. Monday is over 18 hours from now. Are you going to meet the deadline? Tuesday will be over 42 hours from now. Are you going to meet the deadline? and then Wednesday and Thursday. And then you're at Friday. It's the 4th of July. And you know how it is. Everybody starts to take off work on Thursday because most people are brought up with a Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, kick back, go in late Monday, leave early Friday. And they just have this mental cloud. And so companies hire them because they need physical work done, but they can't trust them with the company because they know if they trust them with the company will collapse. So you want to be the sort of person that if the owner of the company passes away, you sustain the company. Why? Because the rewards are built in if you sustain it, and because you're one of the people who built that company. How are you building your company? Are you building your company with taking off early on Thursday and starting late on Monday, or are you the last one on the ship? People respect leaders. People respect achievers. And that's why you want to use this calendar. Now you're going to drive your movement, right? Look, the 4th of July is right in here. You're going to drive Monday, drive Tuesday, drive Wednesday, right? Thursday comes around. You're going to enjoy your family. You have a fantastic time. You're going to see a couple of leads. You might even pull a lead down. You're going to set a lead up for Saturday, Sunday, right? By Saturday, Sunday, you're driving. By Monday, you come back. We'll do Win Team. You'll be like, yes, I'm going to have a great July. And others who just roll with the punches, we'll be floating that sailboat down in the tide of just ordinary living. And we each have to decide where we're going to live there and how we're going to function there. Okay. So when you miss a deadline, what do you do? Oh, by the way, I have to bring you to this really quickly. Momentum builds confidence. Steve Jobs was famous for this. He actually used time limits as a tool for genius in his company. And how many of us think there's genius coming out of Apple, right? He believed that real artists ship. It was a term that he used, right? Well, I'm autistic and you got to understand I'm an artsy person. No, he said, okay, you're an artist. Artists ship product. In other words, artists achieve. They're not lost like an artist who was unknown. Real artists ship, meaning they deliver their work on time. So when you do miss a deadline, if you're feeling a little down on yourself right now, how do you reset? How do you rebuild? You're going to miss deadlines. I miss them all the time. Failure is not fatal. Quitting's fatal. So what are some steps to recover? Definitely number one, let me say, work with a power partner. Are you calling that power partner? Did your power partner get you on here this morning? Did your power partner send you a quick text as well as our text saying, don't miss it? Andy's on fire, right? Don't miss it. I got to talk to you for 5 minutes when Andy's done, right? So work with your power partner. If you miss a deadline, own it openly. Don't hide. Say what happened and what you're going to do differently. Did you hear that? And with power partners, that's awesome. So if you missed your first 2 quarters this year, own up to it. Don't hide it. Now make a decision what your second 2 quarters are going to be like. Say what happened and what you'll do differently. Now, second step, if you missed a target, if you missed a deadline, break the task down and reset it with mini deadlines. By the way, these are powerful. Mini deadlines. It's very important not to set yourself such a massive deadline for a week that each week you feel failure. If you need to take this, if you're not ready yet to do power hours in your power open house, and before your power open house, do power pairing and power doors. If you're not ready to combine those four together, if you're not ready to do a power open house Friday, Saturday, Sunday, admit it to yourself. Say, I don't have the mental strength yet to do that. Or I can't do that because I'm taking care of 3 children. I'm a single mom. Whatever it is, at least break it down, because these power moves, you at some point in your career are going to need to do them. So if you need to break the big deadlines down into small deadlines, do it. Just release the dopamine of meeting deadlines, right? Just setting yourself the power hour. Andrew, I can't sit on the phone for an hour. Okay, you don't have the mental discipline to do that yet. So set yourself a half hour, power half hour, release that dopamine. And I'll tell you, when you set an appointment, you'll do 35 minutes, then 40, then 45, then 50, then an hour. Then you go, wow, an hour just flew by. Deadlines are crucial for dopamine. Dopamine are crucial for success. Success is crucial for respect. Scientists say often, and you know this, that visualizing your win is a big part of meeting deadlines. Why do we say at the beginning of each week, declare to your family what you're going to do that week? At the end of the week, report back to them what you did. That releases dopamine. You're visualizing the win. Why do I talk so much about the future you? Are you going to meet the future you? Are you going to meet the future you running full speed, or you just collapse at the end? A lot of people say, life is about eternity. And it's true. Eternity is something that lasts a lot longer than our physical life, but it was never intended to be a cop-out. I know that I failed, but I'm living for eternity. No, live for now, because now launches you into eternity rather than falling over with a broken leg. And if you do fall into eternity with a broken leg, it's okay. Nobody's going to reject you. But I'll tell you what, I want to strongly encourage you to run into the end as a fantastic beginning rather than as a collapse at a poorly run race. So when you set deadlines, own it openly, break the task down, visualize the win, move your body. We talked about that last week. And this is something very interesting from a neuroscientist, use something called implementation intentions. There's a psychologist, you can read about him later, I don't have time now. His name's Peter Gollwitzer, and he distinguished between goal intentions and implementation intentions, breaking down what's called implementation intentions, how to do something as well as when to. For example, it's 10 a.m. and I haven't started. So if I haven't started at 10 a.m., I'll go to a coffee shop with my laptop and begin my first section. So you say, all right, I'm going to do my power hours by 11. If I haven't done my power hour by 11, right after lunch at 12:30, I'm going to turn off my phone from texts and I'm going to do my power hour then. It's that intention. It's that backup. Have you created backups for your intentions? And I'll share these notes with you because time is short and you can read more. I put a lot in here about what neuroscientists say, but also successful people in life with deadlines. Think about it. Thomas Edison gave himself deadlines multiple times. And he said that famous saying, I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Now, the beautiful thing about the power moves is I proved for 40 years it does work. The beautiful thing about the power moves is every single person that comes in the team that does these power moves succeeds. And every single person that doesn't, I won't say every single, 95% of the people who don't, they end up not succeeding. And then they are faced with two choices: to blame me and blame the system and go somewhere else and fail again, or to accept it, face the deadline, find help, find one of our coaches, find me, find Kathy, find a power partner, find somebody who will do it with them, who walk down each side of the street with them, and together build success. Right? We know these items are the staples of the business: building your power funnel, building the leads at the top of the funnel, processing those leads with your CRM, responding and taking enough leads to fill your funnel, creating your own personal business, creating your own newsletter. All of these power moves, we know these power moves work. If you need to break them down into smaller pieces, break them down into smaller pieces. But don't be afraid to face deadline. You will feel so good when you release that dopamine in your brain and say, yes, I did it. This month, I took it really, really seriously. You're in business. You're in a battle towards success. Deadlines are not an option for successful people. They're how we create readiness. Are you ready? They're how we demonstrate responsibility. Are you responsible? They're how we earn respect. Respect isn't earned at the end of a pistol. It's earned at the end of a well-lived life. I want to encourage you, implement these 8 power moves. Implement your power performance chart, and together, let's continue to build success. We are in one of the toughest real estate markets that I've experienced in my career. And can I tell you something? In the middle of this toughness, in the middle of all of that, we're experiencing agents experience success. We're experiencing success as a team. We're driving towards new plans, new methods. We're adapting to the new market and the new world. And we are uniting together to make something happen. I'm seeing agents who sold nothing come here and sell transaction after transaction, provide for customer after customer after customer. I want to encourage you, embrace deadlines, build character, earn respect. Does anybody have anything they want to share?
Yes, Richard. Thank you so much for that, because I do struggle. On Friday, I kind of fell off the wagon and didn't do anything. And Saturday, I got back on, broke things down into smaller tasks. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Andrew.
You're very welcome, sir. Anybody else want to share something? Okay, who got what from this? Come on, guys. There's nearly 30 people on this call. Who got what from this?
Mike Shabansky. You know what? It's really amazing how following your leadership just creates this momentum. I love how we start the month and how we end it. And the bottom line is that this month was really a launching pad for me. Although I didn't hit the exact metrics that I wanted, I contacted with some really good buyers, wrote multiple offers, did an open house, visited a FISBO yesterday. It's just getting out there and creating one step to the other. And yeah, I see what you see with newer agents having great success. As a seasoned agent, I'm so glad that I'm part of this group and the training, and I can't wait for July.
Right, great testimony. Thank you all very much. Guys, let's have a power month end. I'm here with you all week. We're driving forward this week, building each other up. And let's create a spectacular July. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. It's my privilege to be your coach. Thank you.